Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 deadliest natural disasters in history. Nature is both beautiful and terrifying, and while it gives us incredible landscapes and breathtaking views, it can also unleash fury in ways that leave devastation in its wake. In this video, we will take you through some of the most catastrophic natural disasters ever recorded. Events that have claimed hundreds of thousands of lives and changed the course of history. From earthquakes that shook entire cities to tsunamis that wiped out entire regions, these disasters remind us of the immense power of nature. Brace yourselves for a journey into the most harrowing and tragic events that the Earth has experienced. Let's start with one of the most devastating earthquakes in history, the Tangshan earthquake in 1976, which struck northern China. With a magnitude of 7.5, the earthquake flattened the city of Tangshan in just 23 seconds, killing an estimated 242,000 people. Thousands of buildings crumbled, and the entire region was thrown into chaos. The disaster left survivors struggling to find food, water, and shelter, and the aftermath lasted for years. What made this earthquake even more horrific was its suddenness. There were no significant warning signs, leaving little time for people to escape. The Tangshan earthquake remains one of the deadliest in modern history, and it serves as a reminder of how vulnerable we are to natural forces. Next up, we have one of the most powerful and tragic events ever recorded, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. On December 26, 2004, a massive undersea earthquake with a magnitude of 9.1 to 9.3 triggered a series of deadly tsunamis that affected 14 countries across Southeast Asia, South Asia, and East Africa. The waves reached as high as 30 meters, 100 feet, in some areas, crashing into coastal communities with a speed and force that no one could have predicted. The result? Over 230,000 people lost their lives, and millions were displaced. It remains one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. The scale of the disaster was unfathomable, and the destruction left communities reeling for years, with many struggling to rebuild their lives and homes. Another catastrophe that comes to mind is the Hiroshima and Nagasaki earthquakes of 1945. These earthquakes devastated Japan and claimed tens of thousands of lives. The effects were felt nationwide as entire cities were destroyed. The combined force of the earthquakes and subsequent tsunamis left an indelible scar on the region. Survivors faced a long road to recovery, and the event marked a turning point in how Japan viewed disaster preparedness and its infrastructure. While not as widely discussed as the atomic bombings, the earthquake and tsunami's aftermath had just as significant an impact on the country's history and development. One of the most horrifying events in history was the Yellow River flood of 1931 in China. Known as one of the deadliest natural disasters ever, the flooding of the Yellow River caused widespread devastation in central China. A combination of heavy rainfall and poor dam management led to the river bursting its banks, submerging vast swaths of farmland and entire villages. The flood resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1 million to 4 million people, making it the deadliest flood in recorded history. Tens of millions were affected, with massive loss of life, famine, and disease taking a heavy toll. The Yellow River flood serves as a tragic reminder of the destructive power of flooding and the importance of managing natural resources to prevent such catastrophic events. The 1900 Galveston hurricane was another event that struck with ruthless intensity. On September 8, 1900, a Category 4 hurricane made landfall in the city of Galveston, Texas, with wind speeds of up to 145 mph, 233 mph. The storm surge that followed was catastrophic, flooding the city and causing widespread damage. The death toll reached around 8,000 people, making it the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. At the time, Galveston was one of the wealthiest cities in Texas, and its destruction marked a pivotal moment in the development of disaster preparedness in the United States. One of the most recent disasters on our list is the 2010 Haiti earthquake. On January 12, 2010, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck Haiti, one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. The quake destroyed much of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and surrounding areas, with an estimated 160,000 to 230,000 people killed and over 300,000 injured. The disaster left Haiti in a state of emergency. The already fragile infrastructure of the country crumbled under the pressure of the earthquake, and the aftermath saw a massive international relief effort. Despite the efforts to rebuild, the country continues to struggle with the effects of the earthquake, and it remains one of the most devastating natural disasters in recent history. Now let's travel back to 1815 for the eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia, one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The eruption released an estimated 100 cubic kilometers of volcanic material into the atmosphere, causing a global temperature drop and triggering the year without a summer in 1816. This resulted in widespread crop failures, food shortages, and famine, with millions of people dying from hunger and disease. The eruption's effects were felt around the world, with even places as far as Europe experiencing colder than usual temperatures. The 1815 eruption of Mount Tambora is a stark reminder of how a single volcanic event can have long-lasting and far-reaching effects on the planet. Another volcanic eruption on our list is the 1883 eruption of Krakatoa, which occurred in the Sunda Strait between Java and Sumatra in Indonesia. The eruption was so powerful that it could be heard over 3,000 miles away. The explosion caused massive tsunamis that wiped out coastal villages, and the ash cloud created atmospheric disturbances that led to global cooling. An estimated 36,000 people died directly due to the eruption, but the long-term environmental effects were even more far-reaching. The eruption caused widespread crop failures and economic devastation, and the impact on global climate was felt for years. The Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984 in India was another catastrophic event, though it was man-made. It resulted in one of the deadliest industrial disasters in history. A gas leak at the Union Carbide pesticide plant in Bhopal released toxic methyl isocyanate gas, leading to thousands of deaths and injuries. The disaster affected over 500,000 people and resulted in at least 3,787 deaths. The tragedy is considered one of the worst environmental disasters and a stark reminder of the devastating consequences that industrial accidents can have on human lives and the environment. Finally, we can't forget the 2005 Kashmir earthquake in Pakistan, which struck on October 8, 2005, with a magnitude of 7.6. The earthquake devastated northern Pakistan and parts of India, leaving over 80,000 people dead and many more injured. Thousands of homes and buildings were destroyed, and millions of people were displaced, resulting in one of the most catastrophic events in South Asia's history. The earthquake led to an international humanitarian crisis, with aid pouring in from around the world to assist the survivors and help rebuild the region. These are just a few of the most devastating natural disasters in history, each of them leaving an indelible mark on the world. While these events are tragic, they also highlight the resilience of humanity. Despite the immense destruction caused by these disasters, communities continue to rebuild, recover, and adapt to the changing environment around them. Let us remember those lost in these events and reflect on how we can better prepare for future natural disasters. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating and thought-provoking content.